Hello there and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to talk about Aberrus, the Shadowed Crucible, which is the brand new raid of patch 10.1 Embers of Neltharion. So in this video we're going to explore the raid, we're going to talk about where the bosses or where I think the bosses are, and just look at the environment in general. But before we jump into the raid exploration, guys, just want to shout out my Twitch, twitch.tv/MrGM. If you want to see me stream World of Warcraft, patch 10.1 PTR, any sort of World of Warcraft, I'm over on twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. Right, so yes, Aberrus, the Shadowed Crucible is the brand new raid of patch 10.1. It is a 9-boss raid located in the Zaralek Cavern. It is a kind of laboratory of Neltharions. It's a very, very cool raid. What I'm using for this is a map viewer, which kind of renders the in-game like objects and things like that. The coloration, the lighting, things like that is not exactly how it is in-game, but we get a pretty good idea of what this looks like. There was some raid testing recently, so I can throw in some footage and stuff once we get to those areas, which I did get footage of during the raid test. But yeah, for the most part, we pretty much know where every boss is and how this raid is going to work. So yeah, this is just going to be kind of an exploration video and looking into it, theorizing, and just having a bit of fun and a bit of a chat while we fly around Aberrus, which is the second raid of Dragonflight, which looks very, very cool. It's got like kind of a city and citadel vibe with a bit of Blackwing Lair and Blackwing Descent, and yeah, it's just very, very cool. So let's jump into it with this. Apologies if it is a little bit laggy. It's not, perfect, but, it's better than not looking at it. So, yeah, let's have a look. So, this is the first room that you're going to come to when you begin the raid. Here's the door right here to the entrance, so you're going to come through here, and this is where you're going to come in. So you're going to run down here. On the raid testing, there was no trash. However, there probably will be some trash, I would imagine. And this will actually bring you straight out into the first boss room. So this is the first boss. This is Kazara. This is a dragon boss. Very cool looking. Has some awesome armor. The armor kind of falls off throughout the fight, and this is the boss room for that. So yeah, this is a really interesting boss room. Not really a boss room you'd expect for a dragon. The dragon doesn't actually fly during the fight, which is really strange, but yeah, it's just kind of a dragon that's on the ground, and its armor kind of flies off as you attack it. Now, as you come out of that boss and you defeat that boss, you open up into this kind of awesome looking room. Now, this is similar to like something you'll see in Ulduar or something like that. Kind of an area that will lead you into the different corridors and where the other bosses are. Now, the main event of this is this awesome kind of dragon face pouring out lava. Obviously, the animations are a little bit buggy on this, but you kind of get the idea of how all of this works. So yeah, very, very cool room. As you can see, kind of like different doors going from each side of the room, and that is where more of the bosses are. So yeah, let's continue on around here to the left-hand side. Again, no trash on the PTR raid testing, but you'd expect there is probably going to be some trash once you get in here. As we roll into this room, this is where you're going to see the second boss of the raid. Now, I'm not sure if the raid kind of works in regards to like you open up the first boss and then you can kind of choose where you go. I think that is going to be the case, but we'll kind of just go in this kind of order. So this is the second boss. This is Molgoth. However, they did rename this to the Amalgamation Chamber. This is 2 Voidwalkers which turn into a big Voidwalker. This room is actually a little bit different to how it is in game. There is actually a kind of a glowing vat in the middle of this room, which is not obviously on here. There's some game objects and things missing on this. So as I said, it's not going to be exactly perfect, but it is a very, very cool looking room. It seems like a fun fight as well. As I said, I did test that when I was there. Now, what's really cool about kind of these rooms, and there's kind of like just fun little things around. So as you can see here, some like primordial Dracthyr experiment, and yeah, there's just various different weird experiments in here. There's a dragon egg there. There is, I believe, kind of a brain or something like that in here. Very, very strange. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with that, but yeah, that's there. But again, that's just kind of like set dressing as such. The actual fight and things like that will happen in this area here. So as you go through, once you defeat that boss, you're going to go into this room, more kind of experiment stuff. These little tables really remind me of Blackwing Lair. Yep, Blackwing Lair, you had those. Yep. So yeah, just kind of experiment tables around. No doubt we're going to get some, some people experimenting on stuff and things like that once we get in here. And yeah, there's going to be various trash, but this is not a boss room as such. This is just going to be random trash. More kind of, things full of experiments as we roll up these stairs here. There's a little kind of explorers thing here, or little books with a map of the Dragon Isles, which is kind of fun as we continue up these stairs into the next room, which I believe is going to be the boss fight for the experiment of Dracthyr. This is a 3-boss fight from the looks of things on the Dungeon Journal. It's going to be some experimental Dracthyr. Not really sure how this fight goes. Again, haven't tested or anything like that, so not entirely sure. This up here looks like set dressing. I don't think we're going to fight anything up here. I think the majority of the fight will probably happen down in this area here, but we will certainly see what happens with that once we kind of roll into it during the raid when that launches. Now, after that boss fight, you can go up this chain. It looks like this looks like a kind of Torghast-y chain that you would normally kind of run up as such. Now, what I think happens here is that you can run up here. There's probably going to be some trash and things like that. There's going to be another boss around this area. Now, I think this boss will not unlock until you've completed the other wings. This is the boss room for probably Sakan. From the sounds of things on the Dungeon Journal and whatnot, this looks like the exact kind of room that we're going to be fighting him in. Very cool looking. You got these kind of like dragon heads around and stuff, which I really, really like a lot. And I believe they actually interact with you during the fight as well. But as mentioned, I do think this is a boss that is going to unlock once you defeat the other wing of the raid. I say that because this boss is listed as the 6th boss of the raid. So we're going to come down here. We're going to have the exact same sort of stairway here with the similar sort of chain as well. And we're going to jump right down here into the kind of area that we were in before. And we're going to take a right turn from the first boss room. So going to run up here, and this is where you're going to fight a lot of Jarradin NPCs. Now, one of the cooler fights, one of the interesting fights that I'm really curious to see is the Zakil Invasion, or something like that. I think it's how it's pronounced. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a boss fight here. Now, this is where I think this boss fight happens. Now, this is kind of a balcony outside. As you can see here, you have these Zeralak vaults. I don't think you're going to fight anything down in this area. I think, again, that is just set dressing. But I do think what's going to happen here is that you are going to fight some Jarradin in this area, and they're going to run up the walls. From the Dungeon Journal, it sounds like they scale the walls in this area, which is really interesting. So yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting fight. A lot of ads, a lot of interesting things happening. They're going to kind of run out from here. Again, like, you know, not exactly perfect, but you'll see, you know, once it's in game, it'll look a lot better. But yeah, they're going to run up these walls, and then you're going to fight them on here, presumably. That's going to be an interesting fight. And again, that's going to be one I'm very, very curious on how that operates. But again, that could potentially be the second fight as well, because obviously that will open up once you defeat that first boss, and you have a choice of wings to go down. So once that's defeated, you will fight Rashok, I believe. Now, Rashok was tested. I don't know. I didn't watch the raid testing, unfortunately, but I presume this is the Rashok room. Rashok is the kind of big Jarradin NPC, so presumably this will be right after the invasion. And again, you'll see this chain, as we mentioned before, and this will take you straight up to that room that we mentioned before, where Zakan is, Zakan being the 6th boss of the raid. And yeah, as mentioned, I do think you're going to have to clear both the wings, which will open up this boss. And once that boss is defeated, you're going to be heading down to the middle to this very, 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 very cool looking platform. Now down here, you're going to fight a boss called Magmorax. This is a Hydra boss. This was shown in the promotional images for the patch. So yeah, this is definitely going to be the location where we fight this big, scary looking Hydra. Very, very cool platform. You can see a kind of dragon face on there, Neltharion, obviously. During the testing, we did jump down onto these chains, but I don't know if that is strictly intended how you get down here. But yeah, not entirely sure. There might be some rope or, you know, a portal or something like that to bring you down to the Hydra boss, which we're going to fight here. Now, let's roll into the last two boss rooms, which are very, very cool. They are my favorite. So, once the Hydra's defeated, I guess there's going to be some sort of bridge over to this lava, and you're going to fall down this hole here. Now, this is the room where you're going to fight Neltharion, the Echo of Neltharion. Neltharion has a brand new model in patch 10.1. Cool looking model, looks a lot better without the helm, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, this is going to be probably the room where you fight Neltharion. And this is obviously going to just be kind of locked off. There's probably going to be some doors here at the back. And this will just be kind of a big circle room similar to many, many other boss rooms. And you'll fight Neltharion. It sounds like a fun fight. And this is going to be the penultimate fight of the raid as you roll into the craziest room of this whole thing. And this is the Scale Commander Sarkareth room. So as we come out of the Neltharion room, we're going to see some really cool artwork. Very awesome artwork of Neltharion, kind of similar to Atlas, holding up the world as such. Very, very cool looking. I love that. The pointy shoes are definitely my favorite part of that. And across from that is a image of Deathwing, which is very interesting, because I don't think, again, not too much of a lore guy, but I don't think Deathwing was around in the Zaralak Cavern. I think he was still Neltharion, so a bit confused why there's a big picture of Deathwing. I mean, he's definitely Deathwing with the big old chiseled jaw, holding the Dragon Soul, potentially? I'm not entirely sure again, but this is some very, very cool artwork here in the Aberrus, the Shadow Crucible. So, what we're going to do is head down through here, probably going to get some sort of night-holdy teleporting stuff going on, as we're going to kind of roll into this craziness. So another image of Deathwing here on top of Azeroth or some sort of globe. Very cool art again. Once, like, I just love that. I would love to see that kind of exported and turned into like a cool wallpaper or something like that. But yeah, some kind of fake doors around the back, and then we're going to roll into the room where we are going to fight Sarkareth. Now, I believe the Sarkareth fight is a multi-floor fight, so this is going to be kind of the main platform where we do fight Sarkareth. Again, this is going to look a lot cooler in game, but it looks cool enough like this. So you have kind of this crazy night sky, you have like, you know, a big platform. It's a very void infused fight. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff. You got to remember, we are underground in this area, so I don't really know why the sky is like that. Again, not much of a lore thing. I'm sure there's some stuff going on. You have some floating paper over here, most important part of the fight, as you know. But there is another platform down there. So there's kind of the main platform, and then there's a second platform down here, which I would presume is where you end the fight. Now, ignore the kind of ground there. That's obviously not going to be there once the thing. And yeah, no, it's a little bit unfinished. This is PTR after all. But this room is a bit screwy. Yeah, the walls are kind of warped. Everything's kind of floating about. There's a big stained glass window in this room as well. Very, very cool. And again, here is the kind of boss platform for Sarkareth, where more than likely the boss fight is going to end. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, very cool. A multi-layered fight. Very curious to see what's going to happen with that. That's not going to be publicly tested either, so I guess we'll see what happens with this boss fight. But again, there's going to be a bunch of objects and animations and things going off in this room. This is a very, very bare bones look at this room and in the entire raid, honestly. It's you know, not perfect as such, so we'll definitely have to see what happens with that. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is the entire raid, the Aberrus, the Shadowed Crucible. Hopefully I got the boss locations correct as much as I know. But yeah, this map viewer, again, not perfect, but it is a nice little look into the artwork. The art is absolutely incredible in this raid. I love this huge dragon like face. This is my favorite part of it all. This kind of big reveal as you come out of this first boss room into that. So yeah, there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know down below if you want to see more kind of zone explorations like this. It's fun just to kind of chat away and look at stuff and theorize and whatnot. If you have any theories on this raid, do let me know as well. But no doubt it's going to look a lot better in game. But if it looks this good like this, then yeah, it's going to look even better in game. So thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like on it and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to support me outside of YouTube, I have a Patreon and on Twitter at MrGMYT. I also have a Discord channel as well. And as mentioned, I am streaming on twitch.tv/MrGM. We've been testing a lot of the Dragonflight 10.1 PTR. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, we do stream just any sort of World of Warcraft, guys. So if you want to check me out on stream, twitch.tv/MrGM every single day. And with that, guys, I'll see you next time.